Your time is running out, and your ability to transfer your American Express points over to one of the most valuable currencies in all of the credit card points and miles game is closing on June 30th, literally just a couple of days from now, and you're just sitting on your hands. And I honestly wish I never bankrupted myself with American Express, so I'm jealous of you who has American Express points who is still able to do this. If I had some, I'd be doing this, but public service, I guess, today. In case you've never seen this before, there's an acquisition that has recently happened between Alaska Airlines and Hawaiian Airlines, in which you could actually take all of your Hawaiian Airlines miles that you earn from the card or just flying the airline and transfer it over to Alaska Airlines during this time. And while we don't know necessarily when this is ending and being able to transfer between these two currencies, what we do know is ending is the ability to take all of your American Express points that you've ever earned over the years that maybe you have a hard time redeeming and using value from, and taking that and transferring that over to Hawaiian Airlines is ending on June 30th right here, meaning effectively the only loophole in your ability to take all of your Amex points and send them over to one of the most powerful currencies, that being Alaska airline miles, is closing very, very soon. And so for those who are not necessarily sure why this is so powerful and why this is like such a massive thing that a lot of people have been talking about over time, let me show you exactly what you can do with those Alaska miles and exactly how powerful they really are. Take me as an example. Recently, literally just a few weeks ago, I just did this exact redemption in which I took just 27,500 Alaska airline miles and redeemed them for 2 economy tickets for me and my wife to go from Charlotte all the way over to London Heathrow Airport on a direct flight on American Airlines. And right then and there is where most people find the outsized value in the Alaska mileage program, and that you can fly American Airlines flights, which happen to have really, really good redemption rates, to pretty much anywhere in the world, and not just economy, but also business. Another example right here is a flight that I've looked at in the past, and I actually know a couple of people who are doing this exact route very, very soon. That being a flight right here from Japan, Narita, all the way over to Chicago or SFO in California. And you could see with Alaska Airlines miles, you could book Japan Airlines business class for just 75,000 Alaska Airline miles for a direct flight all the way there. But if you're going to try to book that exact same flight with another currency, let's just check. Let's just see the competitors. Well, one, we already said American Airlines is the best and they have the cheapest. Then it's Alaska at 75K. But then if you scroll the pages, it gets a little bit harder. We have Virgin Australia at 82,000, so more expensive, but Virgin Australia, nobody really actually transfers directly to them. So there's really no option there. There's a couple little things, but not really. There's JetBlue, which is 89,000, so about 15,000 more. But unfortunately, when you look at some of the transfer ratios, like if you were to transfer your Amex points, it's 250 to 200. So the ratio really is not that great, meaning you probably have to transfer closer to about 100,000 Amex points to get that exact same flight. Whereas for a limited time, if you transfer straight to Alaska, that's 75,000, thus saving you probably about 25,000, maybe a little bit less for that exact same flight. And Chase and City do transfer one-to-one to JetBlue, but some people would also tell you like, I'd rather keep my Chase points for something else and save some of those points, honestly, at least personally for me. And then, well, then you can't book Japan Airlines anymore, really. Then they have United Business Class via Air Canada, but that's 100,000 points each. And a little bit beyond that, I mean, you kind of really don't have much. You have Qantas to book Japan Airlines, but that's 104,000, so about 25,000 more. Way, way more in taxes, honestly. And that's only a direct transfer partner from Capital One. So you really, if you're trying to book this exact flight or just fly to Japan a little bit cheaper, you're pretty much just going to be choosing between American Airlines and Alaska Airlines, which a lot of people end up doing. And again, if you're somebody that has maybe a welcome offer from the Platinum card recently, just this welcome offer alone, actually just 150,000 alone, you and your spouse for just that alone could fly business class to there and back with just these Alaska Airlines miles. What about for me recently, in which I was looking up some flights to fly to Italy? Like, what if you want to fly to Rome? Can these miles actually get you there? And the answer is yes. If you're going to be flying from Charlotte or ORD, Chicago, or even Philadelphia, you could see the exact same price on all of these flights right here. 55,000 points, Alaska Airline miles. You could fly business class direct from Charlotte, Chicago, Philadelphia, all the way over to Rome flying American Airlines again, and once again in business class. You could actually do that exact same flight coming home as well, which is something I think I'm going to book very, very soon. Once I get some extra American Airlines miles, which I'm super upset at because during this entire time that this has been going on, people have been asking me, "Oh, Anthony, how many miles have you been transferring over from American Express to Alaska?" And I said like 3,000 because I've bankrupted myself. And I was like, if I had, a large sum of points, like if I had a million Amex points right now, I would easily transfer about 400,000 plus over to Alaska because I know how valuable this currency really is. And I know a lot of people who are doing it right now. And so for those of you who are sitting on Amex points and maybe have no idea what to do with them, maybe this can help sway your decision a little bit to see where you can possibly fly to and from with these exact miles. Let's do a couple others. Right here, if you want to fly from any American Airlines hub right here with our Alaska miles, let's say Philadelphia, JFK, Charlotte, we could fly to a few different destinations, all in business class with a low amount of points. Let's see, 45,000 points. And again, all of these taxes and fees, a lot of them are very cheap. This one in particular is $18 per ticket, one way, all in business class, which is amazing. You could do Philadelphia to Dublin, 45,000. You could go to Lisbon for the exact same price, a little bit extra. And now you go to Rome and Barcelona, Madrid. You could go over to Frankfurt, Germany. I mean, so many different options that you can really go. France, 55,000, and just many, many different places all in around Europe and also Asian countries as well. What about all those European flights? Well, if we want to fly from anywhere in the East Coasts over to Europe, like we did a little bit earlier, so you can see very cheap points price right here, but very high taxes and fees, about $1,000 per ticket in taxes and fees for business class via Lufthansa, which again is really no easy way of getting Lufthansa miles other than getting their exact credit card. And to actually scroll through, we have to click this many, many different times. We have to go to many, many pages to get to the non Lufthansa redemptions right about on page 20. And what's the first currency you see afterwards from getting past all the Lufthansa miles? Alaska. Bam, Alaska right here. However, again, as you keep scrolling, you can see ones like on American Airlines, like they mentioned earlier, 45,000, $18 in taxes and fees for pretty much the exact same flight in a lot of cases. Aer Lingus, 45,000, $18 in taxes and fees again for all these different destinations. So I guess you can see my point. Alaska is kind of just the bee's knees. It's pages and pages of all of these redemptions. So it's like if you're trying to fly from the East Coast over to Europe for at least as cheap as possible, there's a couple sweet spots here and there, and Seats.Aero does not show absolutely everything. But at least for some easier redemptions, I mean, yeah, Alaska's kind of where it's at. I mean, you don't even see American Airlines in this way. You just see Alaska. And even if you're just somebody who's not trying to go too crazy and you're trying to just stay domestically in the United States, this is where, honestly, where a lot of people really love to use this program as well. Not just the American Airlines miles, but also your Alaska miles, which have very similar availabilities, mind you. So, like, the power of American Airlines is pretty much as strong with Alaska as well. And if, let's say, you want to do some positioning flights, or maybe you just want to take a trip down from JFK in New York all the way to MCO Orlando, and you want to go to Disney, something like that, you can fly economy very, very cheaply. You can see right here, 12,500 points in economy each way. This is a flight I have to do very, very soon before I go to Italy. I have to do Charlotte to JFK. Well, if I wanted to fly economy direct one way, it's 4,500 points per ticket, which is amazing, which you can imagine if you have to do a lot of those different flights. I mean, 175,000 Amex points will kind of really take you far at just 4,500 a piece. And obviously, it's a very short flight. And even on a live stream one of these days, one guy asked me, what's the best way to go from DFW in Dallas over to LAX? And we found that it was Alaska Airlines miles as well, 7,500 points one way, all the way there in economy. Like, very, very powerful currency. And let's just see once more, if you want to fly from the East Coast to West Coast, let's see what the most valuable currency is. If you want to fly maybe economy all the way across or premium economy, let's check it out right here. Now, this is aggregating all the data of a lot of different popular East Coast airports over to West Coast airports. And I hit search. And one thing you could do is hit economy and it'll show you the cheapest one possible. So let's hit this and let's see. Bam, baby. There it is. American Airlines and Alaska Airlines, always the cheapest option to fly to any of these different destinations. And let's filter by Alaska to see just exactly how many there are. Most of these are flying out of Charlotte, but then on page 4, you can see here 12,500 to fly out of Pittsburgh to Phoenix, Charlotte to San Diego, IAD to SFO, from DCA over to Phoenix, over still 12,500. Like you can see, pretty consistent from a few of these different airports. Again, some people might have to do positioning flights and all those different things, but at least in just some of these examples, I mean, pretty consistent value here, very, very quickly. Even Newark to LAX, 12,500, like the most consistent award chart possible and very, very plentiful. There's so much availability for Alaska Airlines, at least at this time. So, very, very powerful, as you might be able to see with this. And again, going away June 30th. That's right, June 30th, you will no longer be able to transfer Amex points to Hawaiian and then Hawaiian over to Alaska. A couple other things that are ending that we're not necessarily sure what's going to happen fully. I have my suspicions that things will get discontinued, but that's also the entire swath of the Hawaiian Airlines credit cards lineup. Now, when they say there's an acquisition, they actually do mention, like, oh, we think Hawaiian Airlines cards are all going to be shifted over to Alaska cards. And so these cards may not even exist in the future. And again, there's no deadline necessarily right now in which if you were to get this Hawaiian Airlines credit card, like I did not too long ago, maybe 9 months ago, and I actually used those miles to get me on that first flight over to London. We're not sure if this is going to be going away. My suspicion is yes, it will go away. So this is also a limited time. So also just think about, like, okay, these welcome offers on these cards may not exist by the end of the year. So this Hawaiian Airlines card, 60,000 bonus Hawaiian miles, aka 60,000 Alaska miles, after spending 2K in the first 90 days. But as I always like to bring it up, if you just type in getmyhawaiiancard.com, you can get a better offer where it's just 1,000 spend in the first 90 days, same 60,000 miles bonus. And all you have to do is type in this promo code to take advantage, and that is 000150. Hit apply now, and wham bam, now you have access to that better offer. So these cards may not exist, and I'm just like, maybe take advantage while you can. If they won't exist in the future, maybe you want to take advantage now before they may not exist in the future, something like that. And the same goes for the business version of Hawaiian Airlines credit card. Now, with cards that might actually be disappearing, I also wanted to mention another powerful currency. So we talked about Alaska, we talked about American Airlines. Now, American Airlines has the same kind of power. It's actually a little bit stronger than Alaska. And another card that might be discontinuing, that loopholes that are ending that you might want to take advantage of right now, is this. That Citi is noting that it will acquire the whole swath of Barclays AA Advantage cards here, meaning that Citi is going to be the exclusive issuer for American Airlines, also meaning all of the existing Barclays cardholders will be switched over to Citi products in time, meaning this card right here that I got not too long ago will likely cease to exist by the end of the year as well. We don't know 100% sure, nothing's set in stone, but I think the writing's on the wall. I think they've said enough to say, like, this card may not exist. So it's like, for the time being, if you can get this really valuable currency of American Airlines, you could see I've been going ham with American Airlines getting their cards recently, where you could earn 50,000 AA miles, just as powerful as the other ones we talked about earlier, for a $99 annual fee. And all you have to do is make one purchase on the card in the first 90 days. I mean, that's pretty powerful, and I'm going to take that option all day long before it no longer exists. However, as you know, I like to find my little special offers so I can find them if you're interested. 50,000 miles to the exact same amount with your first purchase, so nothing changes there. However, this one, if you apply through this website directly, you could actually get $0 entry annual fee for the first year, then $99 thereafter. So I just saved you $99 in your first year. You're welcome. And like I said, if I was somebody who had a large amount of Amex points, like if I had kept my Amex points over the years, I would have 100% sent so many more over to this program if I could have. Like I said, I literally only transferred like 3,000 points over, and I didn't even earn them from the American Express cards. I literally earned it through Rakuten. Go figure, on like a sign-up offer. And so enough people have reached out to me in the last week just asking, like, is this really that powerful? Is this something you would send points over literally immediately because the time is so near of when it's ending? And so you might be wondering, like, Anthony, I'm sitting on a ton of Amex points and I'm not necessarily sure what to do with them. How much would you transfer if you're interested in this? And is it even worth transferring it in the first place? In which I would say, well, one, do this. Go on Seats.Aero and check for yourself first the destinations you want to go to if you're not interested in all the ones I showed you earlier, like a few European trips, domestic, and Japan, Asia, all these different things. Go on Seats.Aero. I have a referral link down in the pinned comment below, but check out the different different destinations that you want to go to and maybe your home airports, and then check around for maybe AA hub airports like Charlotte, and then check around for surrounding airports that might be in your area. I like that. I see that arrow. You could actually choose something like East Coast, and it'll give you like a lot of different airports in one particular area. And you could filter by Alaska mileage plan right here, and you could see like, oh, economy to get to Frankfurt from JFK is only 27.5K to get there. Or if you select business class, you go JFK to Germany, Frankfurt for 55K business class there. Like, not too bad. So check around yourself, see what makes the most sense from different airports you want to go to. And then honestly, from there, how much to transfer? I mean, I've honestly been telling people based on what I know about them, like 30% of their entire stack of American Express points, maybe a little bit more, just depending, just because I know where I would be able to use them. But again, plan out some theoretical trips, just going on seats.io and be like, okay, I would maybe need 200,000 miles to get my business class tickets for everywhere me and my wife want to travel for the next 2 years, something like that. Okay, so maybe transfer that amount. I wouldn't bankrupt yourself on American Express, even though a lot of people are doing that, because American Express points also could be transferred for a lot of different partners and give you maybe even better value, depending on which countries you're really trying to get to. So I would say definitely don't bankrupt yourself, but definitely I would say figure out where you want to go, see how easily you can actually get there. And then also on Seats.io, check all the different other programs and see maybe it's not the best currency for you. Maybe there's other currencies that you'd rather transfer to instead. But all that to say is that enough people reached out to me, and I think the time limit is really kind of freaking people out. Just to let you know, like, yes, you have a couple more days, do some more research, and if you want to transfer, now is your time. The loophole is closing. After then, it's done. So don't FOMO, but also do your due diligence. And if it seems interesting, go for it, I think. And again, all of this is kind of just part of my greater strategy and being able to take these points of miles a lot further and not having to rely on maybe just high annual fee, premium credit cards to worry about them. I think you can get it all done for a lot cheaper or even free in some cases. So if you want to see my whole strategy kind of going forward and why I've kind of gotten rid of most of my high annual fee expensive credit cards, check out this video right here. So I hope to see you there. I hope you get some value from it. And as always, I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much and take care.